The Michigan Military and Veteran Hall of Honor is producing these video clips and audio clips to explain to folks those who are being inducted into the Michigan Hall of Honor. I'm Jim Fausone, one of the board members. We're talking to Robert Neer, an Army veteran who's also a member of the board of the Michigan Military and Veteran Hall of Honor. He's going to talk to us about another military inductee here in 2024. Tell us about Karl Richter.
Yeah, Karl Richter. Thank you for having me first off, Jim. And Karl, he was a United States and other Air Force veteran. He was an officer and a fighter pilot renowned for his bravery and accomplishments during Vietnam War. He was just 23 years old when he became the youngest pilot to shoot down a MiG fighter. That's actually a huge accomplishment, a MiG-17 fighter at the time, in air-to-air combat, demonstrating exceptional skills and valor. And might I add, he shot down this MiG with a F-105 Thunderchief. So for those of you who know history in the Air Force, you'll know that that is not the most versatile air fighter. It is primarily designed to be a bomber, but it was able to be multi-use, both with air tactics as well. So that is an amazing feat that he was able to accomplish that, and he still holds that as the youngest individual pilot to shoot down a MiG, which was kind of impressive. But Richter grew up with a fascination for aviation as he was determined to become a fighter pilot from a young age. He was born in Holly, graduated from Holly High School, and then attended the Air Force Academy, and he excelled academically and in flight training, graduating in 1964 and joining the fight in Vietnam. Just an awesome story, and all the details will be on the Hall of Honor's website, and they'll also be live streamed. But I can go into more detail if you'd like, Jim, because
I think one of this, this is a small country kid who was fascinated by flight. We'd encourage people to review his story and see how that dream, whatever your dream is, Karl Richter is a good example of how you can fulfill your dream. And tell us a little bit about his combat missions.
Yeah, he's got one of the most impressive records for combat missions. He flew the F-105 Thunderchief, conducting strike missions over North Vietnam. He quickly earned a reputation for his precision, his courage, and flight prowess because he was able to really get in there where people thought it wasn't even possible. He served, one of the big things back in the day in the Air Force for that time period was to complete your 100th combat mission. So he did complete his 100 combat missions.
Now you got to go home, right, in Vietnam if you wanted to after 100 missions, I believe.
I don't know that detail, but I know that was the milestone. True. Okay. And so that makes sense of why it was such a milestone. So he not only did 100, he did almost 200, 192 missions, and continued to be the first one in to risk danger and to go out there and do some amazing things. Once again, he's known for being the youngest individual in Vietnam to shoot down a MiG-17. And his reputation also went on to say that he was unwaveringly brave even to the end when he was shot down. I think it was 1967. It was July 28th, 1967, on his 198th mission. He was shot down, struck by enemy ground fire. He was able to try to navigate back to base. The plane went down. He ejected and was later, unfortunately, succumbed to his injuries on the way to the hospital. But an amazing legacy from a young boy right here in Michigan.
Well, and that legacy is recognized at the Academy. There's posts named after him in Holly. I mean, everybody who's looked at this story or seen the stories about him, I think there's a movie on him, have really been inspired by what this young man did in a short life and a short career.
Yeah, it was amazing. He was also given the Distinguished Flying Cross as well, which, as you noted, in the other inductee, that's not something that's just handed out as the highest award in the Air Force. He also received the Air Force Cross, Silver Star, Purple Heart, Air Medal. I mean, he was a highly decorated individual for such a young age.
Well, thank you for telling us a little bit about this pilot's pilot.
Yeah, no, thanks for letting me.